Today we're going to talk about spring maintenance. We've been cooped up in our houses all winter. Now it's a chance to get outside. What do we need to look for when we're doing our home maintenance? And I always like to start from the top down, and that starts with your roof. Roofs actually are the number one thing that sheds water away from your house, right? Your roof can be over 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. That's a lot of water it's going to accumulate, right? So we want to make sure that your roof, your shingles are intact, your flashings are there, you're not missing anything. So it's good to have your roof checked every once a year, and it's usually after winter when all the snow melts. Water is a home's killer. It causes rot, it causes mold, and it causes air quality issues. So we want to make sure the water is pushed away from your house. One of the things we do is check your gutters. Any gutters with leaves, debris, anything else in it, we want to make sure it's nice and clean. We want to make sure that water has a chance to get into these downspouts, come on down and push away from your home. If you have a slope grade like this, your lot grading, then you want to make sure that we correct that. Lot grade is probably the easiest and most cost-effective way of keeping water away from your foundation. Ceiling is always a good part of any house, right? Doors, windows, we want to make sure we're stopping any drafts from going. They say that 30% of your home's efficiency actually goes out through your windows and your doors just by not being sealed correctly. So making sure your weather stripping is there. I can see there's a gap there on that top left corner, right, where there's a little bit of air coming through. That's going to allow air gaps and wind and whatever else. And then on the bottom side, we want to make sure it's sealed. This is where the caulking comes in place. We want to make sure that everything's sealed all the way through underneath your door trim and on your windows. Exterior hose bibs are a good one to check too, because a lot of times they're loose, and you can see this one is a little bit loose. So this is a good opportunity to take off this caulking, re-secure this hose bib, and while you're at it, I would actually prefer to have a non-freeze hose bib. Non-freeze hose bibs are a really good idea, especially in our climate, because, well, we get freezing all the time. This here is your fresh air intake. This is what your furnace sucks in to grab that fresh air in. So you want to make sure that these screens are nice and clean. Get a toothbrush, come out here, scrub this out, make sure that there's no obstruction on there, and then that way your air quality is going to stay good. So it's going to help your furnace. The rule of thumb typically is if you have a crack on your foundation that you can put a dime inside, then that's about time to get that crack addressed, because water can get inside that crack. Another thing is parging. Parging is the skim coat they put on top of your foundation walls, and it just kind of gives it extra coat. And this one here is starting to flake a little bit. We want to make sure that this can actually get it put back on. So I would recommend pulling off anything that's loose and just having someone over here just to re-skim it, and it just protects that extra barrier between your foundation wall and the exterior. Understanding the envelope of a home is something I get a good understanding for, and as a home inspector, that's crucial because water is your home's #1 enemy.